folks, and welcome to another daily Bitcoin market analysis by Inspocrypto. Today, I was thinking about to talk something in my initial comment. Let us start with monetary policy and then go over to Binance. I received a comment on my YouTube channel. I think I know who is behind of this comment, and I even agree with many things he's saying there, but in my opinion it's very ignorant just, to have one particular view on one nation or even one news source, but close the eyes, ears, and everything else related to a company like Binance, for example. So, but I'm not going to discuss right now, or it's also not fair because of course this guy can't reply to me, right? And we can start an indirect discussion. So I'm just going to make some examples why I'm absolutely convinced that even CZ or Binance, it's not the spirit of crypto. It's just another company like FTX, Sam, and whatever. Even, we know after FTX that US newspapers or news sources started, and it's not the first time, to fight against Binance. However, that's one part. Let us start with the first part, and that's actually where we are going to talk about monetary policy. Because now it seems the Fed is more and more saying, we have a big problem right now because the labor market looks extremely, extremely good, unfortunately, and at the same time, inflation is not declining like expected. Oh, I don't know who said that month ago, but it doesn't matter. Now they are saying, well, we said 5.5%, and now we should talk about 6%. Even that, in my opinion, is not going to be the end. I know that banks, and that's incredible, were surprised about everything, about that the inflation is not declining as expected, and it seems right now they are flipping and saying, well, it seems even 6% is not going to be the end. It's going to be even more higher. So we need to adapt now to the whole scenario. What means adapt? Well, they are going to focus more on different other assets. They are just adapting their portfolio to what we are seeing at the moment. A little bit late. But sometimes in Germany we say, better late than never. So, however, if we take a look, for example, what happened today, March 8th, ADP non-farm employment change. Previously, we had 119,000 and they said, we are forecasting 200,000. That was big. I mean, from 119K to 200K. I guess also because they are expecting some seasonal changes, we did even 20% more than forecasted. 242,000. That's really big. Then job opening for January. Previously in December we had 11,234,000. They expected, it will decline to 10,500,000. We did 10,824,000. Friday, we will see the unemployment rate and the non-farm payrolls. Anyway, in my opinion, the thing is done. We will not see anything different. And in my opinion, the only thing what it's confirming right now is, at the moment, we don't have an unemployment problem. We have an inflation problem. And the inflation will not decline as long services inflation maintains high. And that's the big problem I'm singing since months, but I don't know why. Even the bankers out there, I don't know what they are doing every day. Hey guys, if you're watching this analysis, you can book me. But yeah, they didn't have this on the table and they missed that. However, that's going to be a problem because every time when this guy starts to adapt their portfolio means that's not going to be short term. Also indicates us, yeah, they will say soft landing and we will just raise interest rates to 6%, but when bankers are making such adaptations or adjustments, means they are even expecting that interest rates could maintain very high and even go higher. Good for DXY, bad for equities, and at the same time we know, as I tweeted just yesterday I think, the zero DTE problem where even regulators, watchdogs, are sensitive checking the situation. JP Morgan, I know, I mean, JP Morgan, we know, JP Morgan, we know how fair they are sometimes, but however, I think this analysis is very well because they are saying, hey, all this zero DTE gambling crap can trigger a crash of 20% for equities or at least for SPY, SPX. And that's, of course, not bullish. Even Bitcoin is relatively doing well, so indicating, hey, we are, resisting. They are resisting. We are still at 22K. We touched 21.8. Usually, we didn't. So we need to go up to 23 because we have a local POC there, and usually afterwards it should go more down. That's something I would expect, but we will talk about more later on. Now let us talk a little bit about Binance, and I just want to make one single, it's not a sentence, but a little story. When they asked 2020, she said in an interview, where is the headquarters of Binance? Because the story is a little bit longer. Binance was founded in China, and because of the whole crypto ban situation in China, they moved on to Japan. Japan, for example, very interesting, has a very good regulation framework also for crypto companies. It protected a lot of FTX customers in Japan, but that wasn't good for Binance, so they moved on to Malta. Malta, of course, it's such like of a paradise, like a companies like Binance. However, and that's the most interesting part, in 2020 they asked, hey, where's the headquarters of Binance? And the most interesting answer came from CZ, of course, when he replied, well, I think what this is the beauty of blockchain, right? So you don't have to, where's the Bitcoin office? Because Bitcoin doesn't have an office. What? But that's exactly what he replied. And the most interesting part is he added, what kind of horse is a car? We have loads of offices with staff in 50 countries. I was a new type of organization that doesn't need registered bank accounts or postal addresses. Yeah, I know other companies doing exactly the same. Mainly related to illegal business, but it's fine. So, that remembers me, and that's why I don't like she said, Binance is a company. I don't care about Binance. I don't care about FTX because the main driver of a business is usually the CEO. And that's the problem. That's why I don't think that CSAT is different to Sam, for example. At the moment, he is still in the situation that, yeah, everything is relatively fine. People are saying, yeah, that's food, that's all fake and whatever. Even they are not doing anything against, absolutely anything. They are using their own Binance blog to say, oh, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake, that's fake. But you know my opinion about that, because in my opinion, you know, as a CEO of a big company, I want to protect the interest of my customers. So when someone is spreading fake, it's risking the funds of my customers. So usually what I will do is to say, okay, prove that. If you can't prove that, I will prove you are fake and you are spreading fake news. But he is not doing it. Binance is not doing it. Mark Cuban, for example, once said, Binance is one of the main drivers of the wash trading. Something that's absolutely common on crypto, unfortunately. OKEx since 2018. I don't know. I would say almost every single centralized exchange is involved with wash trading. Just in January, they did a study and was also published by Swiss newspaper Blick.ch. So Blick, it's BLICK.ch. And they found out that 70% of all crypto transactions are fake. Because they could prove that they have the same wallet. They are using the same wallet addresses. And doing all the time just wash trading. Now you could say, what's the purpose? What's the approach? Why? Just to show you how nice everything is working. While at the same time, I can use other data and other different, I have a different approach to check market activity, not only with wallets, also with transaction counts, and both are declining. So indicating, yeah, maybe we still have 70%, but in general, the activity is declining. And that's also what we feel when we check, for example, the charts, when nothing is happening, absolutely nothing, and then someone sends 100 million and boom, up, rocket, yoo-hoo! Well, you know, that's a general problem. But of course, if we take a look that 90%, almost 90% of the spot volume is traded on Binance, who is the king of wash trading. And why are they not preventing wash trading? Because of course, it's okay for them. If we take out 70% of the current daily volume, I guess many of us would be just shocked and say, what the hell? Of course you can say, that's fake. They need to prove. Well, they did. But also here, no one is talking about. Not OKEx is talking about, not Binance is talking about. I don't know, they didn't mention Coinbase. That's really a very interesting part, but they are talking about almost all centralized exchanges, that they are doing that with almost every single centralized exchange. However, so just to defend Binance as a company, or CSAT, I also tweeted, for example, one guy, developer, they was doing a developer hackathon, it seems, or something, and they had a very, very nice idea, a business idea, and Binance are supporting. We know build and more build, and your funds are SAFU, and they thought, hey, that's maybe they are going to invest in our idea and we can make it big. Well, the first part didn't work, but at least the second one, because Binance said, oh, that's a great idea. We will change the name just a little bit, because they really just changed few. I think instead of, I don't know the name right now, could take a look now to my Twitter, but it doesn't matter. They changed a little bit the name, and even the design is almost the same. So they just has stolen a nice business idea from someone who is a crypto believer, who is, who also was trusting in a company like Binance, and of course they are pissed right now. Now you can also say that's all fake. Everything is fake. But when you see a lot of fake, usually some of these fakes are not. And sometimes to make the right questions, like for example this follower or subscriber did, and it was, I replied to him because I agree he did the right questions, but he didn't cover everything in his answers. And that's, I think, sometimes the big problem. Some in crypto, we know that Binance is part of crypto. It's the biggest exchange since years involved. And I guess they did very well work. I don't have any doubt about that. But, times change, like the market did. And just to close the eyes, to close the ears, it's not enough. We always have to make the questions. I remember how many times I received really, really, really bad messages and comments related to Sam and FTX. You hate Sam. FTX is great. I'm trading there since years. I know, but I also knew what Sam was doing. And I have mentioned so many times what FTX was doing. And it was even worse than I thought. So, the iceberg is always there. So I would be extremely careful just defending all the times a centralized exchange like Binance, for example, because they are not making billions with you just to make you a favor. And, it's not the Red Cross. I would be careful. Make always the questions and look for the right answers, but don't close one eye. Have both widely open. So let us go to the next chapter, because it's now 18 minutes. So then let us talk about on-chain and what's happening here, also related to our lovely whales ratio. Well, the whales ratio 1 day time frame, for example, declined once again, but as you can see, we are still maintaining this higher lows. And yeah, it's declining. We will see, because we had that already. We will see if we are done here. In my opinion, we are not done. In my opinion, what they are going to do is to liquidate all these shorts, all what they accumulated, because once again, in my opinion, exchanges and some other actors have the market under their control, and so they have at the moment a lot of opportunities to liquidate their own clients. Because I don't see, to be honest, I don't see why a whale cartel, let us talk about a group of whales. Sometimes, you are reading and some stories are spreading. We have a bunch of 20 wealthy guys who are involved in a group, and these guys are extremely bullish on crypto, and they are, sometimes buying the dip, creating the dip first, buying the dip, push up. But why should these guys, for example, just liquidate just to push up a little bit more the price? Yes, but that's it? Just to increase the pace? I don't think. Who has here, who would make the big money liquidating positions, future positions? Well, it's mainly, for example, the centralized exchanges. We know, for example, that at least it was in 2021 that a big part of all these liquidations go directly to the insurance fund of Binance. And I remember the discussions in April, May last, well, it's no 2 years ago, Jesus, but in 2021, where the insurance fund was declining because many people were just shorting and the price was crashing already, you remember. And so it was, I remember all this discussion, and many were thinking, okay, it seems that Binance is maybe the goal. They just want to collapse Binance. And to be honest, maybe it was really an attempt, because afterwards we received a lot of foot against Binance later on, and in favor of FTX. That was the most entertaining part afterwards. But however, we are not going to talk about Binance once again. So yeah, we need to see what's going to happen here. It's just too early, but at least a little bit like expected, it's declining now, and usually the price could start to lift up again. Usually something like, we went down, we go up once again, so down once again. Some people would say, hey, that's head and shoulders. Yeah, maybe, we will see. But I would at least expect to see the price go back to 22,500 and even go to 23 to liquidate all these shorts and then go more to the downside. That's something we need to see. That's a process, as you know. If we go forward, also here, that's what we see. We can see that the stablecoin on centralized exchanges is lifting up. We also see that the weights ratio, 30 hours moving average, was declining almost to 81, now bouncing and go against up. And the most interesting part, once again, they pushed the weights ratio down to 64, and now it's at 99, indicating they are distributing. So they pushed and distributing. But yeah, I think we are not done here. So we will maintain maybe the current price. They will surprise us as usual. Then they send 150, 200, 300 million stable coins to the centralized exchanges. And then finally we will push up. But as mentioned, I don't think that's it, just because of the balances of centralized exchanges related to Bitcoin. That's something we will take a look later on. So let us go forward. So if we take a look here, let us just first of all disable everything related to stablecoins. If we take a look here, for example, we can see 900 Bitcoins here, the maximum that was yesterday. So today the maximum is 900 Bitcoins. That was here March 7th. That was yesterday 1,340 Bitcoins. Also, that makes sense. I mean, while, it makes sense that it seems we have a big part of the current volume is wash trading, because we don't need all these big volume in Bitcoin inflows just to push the price down. While we see in the smaller time frame how the candles, we have such kind of resistance, so a little bit of volatility, indicating they are fighting a little bit. So it's not just one actor playing. When I'm saying that, that's like, it feels like, but it's not, of course not. We have different interests there. Some are, I guess, involved in option trading, others maybe with arbitrage. I don't really know. But what we can see is that BTC inflows to centralized exchanges and outflows are not the same like, for example, 2022. And that's usually also an indication. However, today the biggest outflow was here 1,700 Bitcoins almost, because of course we receive here 1,300, another 500, another 500, and so on and so forth. And then finally they withdraw some, because they are, in my opinion, right now buying the dip. And we need to be extremely careful here, but because I said 21.8 would be the first station, and then we need to see. So to short a 21.8 or maybe a 22, it's really risky. So I have a short open, but my long at the moment is bigger. I'm just hedging a little bit. So, but it's not really clear because I don't see any big stablecoin coming in. Now let us take a look here to the stablecoins, and when I take a look, it's a zero-sum game. So 180 millions out, 195 millions in, then 32 millions in, 133 out, and so on and so forth. Then 400. Wait, that's 14. That's not. Oh, that's really low. 9. Oh, that's 195 million. So I'm right, and 146 millions here. So nothing big coming in. Also related to stablecoins, nothing big coming. So it will take a little bit, I think, until it goes up once again. And sometimes the market is looking like a little bit like everything is working like in slow motion. But yeah, that's what it is. So let us go forward. So if we take a look here, we can see once again funding rate up, then down, then up, then down, then up, and now indicating once again a little bit down. It seems that some people are really using every time when we see, for example, here bigger move on funding rate, for example here, it seems they are really bringing bigger positions, longs or shorts, it depends, on the centralized exchanges. Otherwise I couldn't understand why the funding rate is, for example, in that case, just pushing that up. I mean, the price declined even more afterwards, but maybe that was really just a liquidation operation. Something it's really we don't know what's behind sometimes. So open interest up, down, up, and leverage ratio once again up, down, and look up, and now a little bit more down. Just went much more up than open interest. Also here indicating if we would have an open interest leverage ratio, that would be a nice indicator, just to see, if they are using more open interest or more leverage. But however, maybe something for Phoenicia. We need to see. However, if we take a look here, we can see absolutely nothing happening related to stablecoins and futures. We make here, that should be the biggest for today. And we have here, what is that? 9 million? 9 million? No, 91 million. 91 million was the biggest, and then 75 millions in outflows. So absolutely nothing. If we take here a look, that's much more interesting. It's outflows related to Bitcoin and derivative exchanges. And you can see the net flow. So it seems someone took profit here. Not really clear who it was. If someone just long with his Bitcoins, I don't know. But 7,600 Bitcoins, that's a lot. And we didn't see since a lot of time. The most important part is we have here received a bunch of Bitcoins, for example, but here the biggest 2,500, I remember 3,000 here. Maybe someone was shorting and taking profit right now, could also indicate that now the price will go more up, doing such kind of bar pattern. But I I'm still bearish. So yeah, of course they can push up and bring and trigger more FOMO with the future stream pump and high leverage. It is possible. But, I don't know. I'm not convinced with all that crap happening related to crypto. I don't think that we are going to 30K. Maybe they are going to surprise me, but, let us see. Also here, nothing new. If we take a look, yesterday they liquidated 750 longs, bitcoins and longs, 250 bitcoins in shorts. Also nothing big to see here. Even funding rate lifting up once again, open interest and leverage ratio declining. So absolutely nothing. If we take a look now to BitMEX, blockchain whispers. Why are you always changing my background? Okay, so 1.6 billions versus 820 millions, indicating longs coming and shorts as well. So 66 to 34, still in my opinion not really healthy, and 61 to 39, once again on Ethereum it looks a little bit better. On Binance, and here shorts coming on Bitfinex. And if I'm right, longs declining or decline. I'm not sure. I don't have the data now in my mind. What we have seen just yesterday, for example. Let us take a look to the Kingfisher. Let us see what these guys are expecting here. All leverage. Okay, so all leverage. If that's all leverage, it looks a little bit strange. We still have 70 millions, and it looks like, it's not. It looks like, so we have here a whale, we have here a whale, we have here a whale, here, so very concentrated. Even related to shorts here, then a little bit here, while everything else could be retailers like here, for example. But it looks a little bit strange. At the moment, the biggest liquidation cluster, I would say, is that here? Yeah, that's that here, 46 millions. No, 62 millions at 32,800. So almost impossible to liquidate them, at least in short term. High leverage on the short side. And okay, that's also very interesting. So yeah, in my opinion, these guys here are going to be wrecked, but also these guys here. So back to 21.9 before we can go up to, show me, 22.5. Yeah, I agree with that. 22.5, as mentioned, I don't know, 22.5, 23, because related to exchange walls, I also have seen some bitcoins waiting at 22.9, almost 22.9, 23, so it could be possible. Okay, that's it. Let us go forward. So then let us take a look here, for example. Let us see what happened and who was here maybe the main driver. So if we take a look, for example, we use once again that here, and we can see on Binance 66.5 millions in negative CBD, indicating they sold more than they bought. That's the aggregated, taking into account all those exchanges with USDT pairs. 67, so a little bit more than Binance. If we take BUSD, that's the biggest joke, because they are still trading a lot with BUSD. We have here 14.7 million. If we take a look to USD, that's main Gemini and Kraken and Coinbase. almost minus 21.7 millions. Now the most important part, it's futures with Bitcoin collateral, almost 188 millions. If we take stablecoin futures, wow, minus 835 million. So we can say almost 1 billion with Bitcoin collateral and with stablecoin collateral. And we can say, well, 30, 35, 35, 100, let us say 150 millions, because USDC is not part of my CBDs, 150 to 1 billion. So indicating spot did just 50% of the whole CBDs compared to futures. That's crazy. So if we take a look, well, BUSD, as said, declined a lot. That's, BTC, BUSD. I don't know why it's still, they are trading that much. Bitfinex, still on the bearish side. Bybit, the same. Wow. Coinbase, now doing exactly the same. Bitstamp doing the opposite. At least one. No, not one. Kraken also doing the opposite. And Gemini doing the opposite. It's really interesting. Always, but Coinbase is really very interesting what they are doing, to be honest, because I wasn't expecting that. So if we go forward, we can check a little bit what's happening today related to stablecoins. Let us see. Okay, here is, yeah. So that's USDT, that's Tether, that's USDC. You can see USDC, nothing big happened, and BUSD, still very active. And of course, we have here all stablecoins. That's a new chart I have introduced or added. We had here, for example, that was today at 5:35 in the morning AM. Exchange inflows 2.5 billions. Exchange outflows 1 billion. Well, now someone can say, wow, that's huge, to the moon. We don't know if they are using also this money for futures to short, for example. Maybe it's not to the moon, maybe it's to the doom. So nobody knows. We need to see. We had here then afterwards 2.6 millions inflow, but 636 millions in outflows. So then the gap here, of almost 1.5 billion, it's not 1 billion anymore, 900 millions. If we take a look then to USDT, for example, the biggest inflow was generated today, almost in the midday, 2 p.m., 9 millions inflows, but a lot, as you can see, a lot, and afterwards they pushed up the price. Now some of them are taking profit, 3 millions. Related to USDC, for example, that was at 11 a.m., 51 inflows. Then at 12 o'clock, 38 millions. And then they started here, for example, just 40 minutes later to profit, or some of them withdrawn, some stablecoins USDC, almost 70 millions, and also here indicating more blue than yellow. BUSD, wow, BUSD, 750,000 inflows, another 600,000 inflows, and then 750,000 outflows, and another 270 mil. I don't know why they are still trading with BUSD. I mean, I don't care, but I don't get that. So if we take a look now to my lovely entities, let us take a look here. First of all, retail, declining a little bit, maintaining, declining, pushing up, declining, and this guy is okay. So usually, one of my follower repeated his statement and said, look, Inspo market maker is buying. Well, if we want to know if they are buying, we need also to consider that maybe some guys from here reduced their balances, so sold and shifted then to these guys here. Because you can imagine if here someone had 20,000 and he is going to sell 10,500 bitcoins, he is going to shift to this entity because then he will have 9,500 bitcoins. The thing is, the balances of this entity will go up. Doesn't mean they bought. They sold, they just shifted to another entity. Interesting is the opposite. If we see, for example, that one wallet of this entity here, 100 to 1000 bitcoins, for example, started to buy and bought, for example, another, he has 900 bitcoins and buy another 10,000. And then it has 10,900 bitcoins. Oh no, sorry, 9,000 bitcoins. And then he has 9,900 bitcoins and shifts then afterwards to this entity. So what I need to do to verify if they really bought or not, because if they bought, that would be, of course, at least short term. We need to see if they start to accumulate, because at the moment doesn't look like, but if we start to accumulate, they will flip me bullish. We have a lot of red flags just because these guys has magic hands. So if we take a look now to the wallets, then the first thing I would take a look is to the entity, the market maker. And my expectation, if they really bought, my expectation here would be that the wallet count is the same like yesterday. Nothing have changed, only their balance. Then it makes sense, because then it means, oh, okay, they received. Or these guys shifted here. But if I see here reducing wallet count and here increasing, means only they sold and they shifted to this one. I hope you can follow me. So let us take a look. These guys declined in lifting up. These guys received more wallets, and these guys declining a lot. So if we take a look now, so wait, what was it? This one. Let us maybe, oh, sorry, hide, and hide. So we need to hide everything that's right now not useful for us. Hide and hide. So now we have these guys here, the market maker, and these guys here. Now we can see that it seems we have received some wallets from 100 to 1000, but also from 10,000 to 100,000. It's really difficult now to say how much bitcoins are related here. If those guys with 10 to 100,000, for example, maybe it was a 30-40,000 bitcoin wallet and declined by 30-40, let us say 30 by 25. Now he has 5,000 bitcoins and shifted, of course, to the market maker entity. Or if these guys, for example, some wallets bought and more than 1,000, the problem here is 1,100 Bitcoin is enough to shift to this entity. So if we take a look here, for example, we can take a look. So that's where they started to decline. Oh, okay. Now it seems we received another wallet. Oh, interesting. Something have changed right now, 9 seconds ago. That was interesting. Never have seen that. So the big guys here, we had here 112 wallets, in this entity, the market maker 1,899 wallets, and the entity with 1,000 bitcoins 14,034. So let us take a look. Now we have 111 wallets on the market maker 1,905, and the guys with 100 to 1,000 bitcoins 14,046. So let us go back. That means that the market maker entity has received 1898 7 wallets, and one of them is from a big guy, and the others, it seems, is coming from this here. So it seems those here have both more and one of them unload. So we are talking about small whales and a big whale, a really big one. Usually 80% of these wallets are involved with exchanges. So we don't know if maybe one exchange, because they bought that much, it is also possible that it was an exchange wallet that now shifted here. It can happen. It can happen. But, you know, if people think it's easy just to analyze via on-chain, it's not, because you need to rethink a lot of different things. You need to see, to verify the data that you are seeing, and not just, oh, it went up, well, that's bullish because they bought, or, it's much more. You need to take into account many other different scenarios. And that's something I try to tell you over and over again. So market maker entity 650 Bitcoin less here, another 134 here and here, so almost 800, 900 Bitcoins. If we take a look here, for example, yesterday, Gemini was indicating whales were very active, and that's it. That's really it. So everything else below 60. Well, with Bitfinex 67, but it's it's not that high like just in the last few days, for example. Nothing to see here. We can see here, for example, that's fund holdings indicating they're selling while the Bitcoin price was on the top, and even go more up, they started to sell. Nothing big. 693 and 4,000 Bitcoins. It's not big at all. If we check here, for example, and we can see now, very nice, future driven pump, spot, futures, spot. And usually, at least if this pattern is going to do it again, it means futures, spot, futures, spot, futures. What does that mean for the price? At least I would expect that. Up and then once again down. So we will see, but that's at least what I would expect. And that's it from here. Market activity once again indicating the downward trend is significant, and even here futures, the market is cooling down. The market is not only cooling down, it's like the fire is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That's what it is, at least related to the market activity. So let us go forward. So if we take a look on Coinbase, very interesting. They removed this wall, or at least a lot of liquidity, but also here. So let us take a look. Yeah, and reinforcing. Indeed, they are reinforcing lower ranges. Oh, I think I need to rethink my strategy. Instead, they okay at 19k. So that really doesn't look great, to be honest. I would be careful with Coinbase because I think a lot of institutionals trading there now declining. If they start to unload, we can go straight down. So Bitstamp. On Bitstamp, they removed the wall here at 24. Also here, a lot of volume below of 20k. The next one will be 21. BTC USDT on Binance. On Binance right now, here waiting with 370 Bitcoins. Also removed this wall here, or removed a lot of liquidity, and now waiting at 21.5. You can see here some volume, but also here, for example, everything at 20k, also very interesting. Yeah, BTC BUSD with 146 Bitcoins waiting at 22k. Also here removed some liquidity, but here instead at 21k. What are these guys doing? Bitfinex, BTC USD. Also reinforcing 21.5. At the moment also at 22. However, I would expect to go up to 22.5 before we go more down, because that's what they are doing, but usually, push up before more down. So yeah. Kraken. Kraken, yeah, everything also 21 reinforcing, but nothing big to the upside. 22.7, also nothing big. Bybit, BTC USD, nothing. BTC USDT, nothing. BitMEX, BTC USD, also nothing. Oh, nothing. Now perp. On perp, look, a lot of stuff here. So everything between 22 and 21.5. Now BTC BUSD, they are still waiting at 20k. Bitfinex removed a lot in this short order at 22.5 and reinforcing 21.3. Kraken futures, nothing. OKEX futures, nothing. And Deribit, oh, okay, Deribit waiting at 23.5. Otherwise also bringing some liquidity between 21.3 and, well, you can see, I mean, until 19.8. That's really strange. That's really strange. Taking liquidity, removing 24.3 instead. That's really interesting what they are doing, but yeah, that's really difficult now to say. Let us go forward.